Okay, let's figure out what is going on in the speaker's demonstrations with Gwen. In the beginning, the speaker asks Gwen to color different animals randomly, and when she is done, he took out the piece of paper from the envelope, and we find out something surprising. The color of the animals from the envelope matches the color of Gwen's animal. So is this really a coincidence, or could there be order in the chaos he created? In other words, were there order rules in the previous section of his talk? So of course there were. So the speaker goes back to the previous section of his talk to walk us through the order he arranged in his talk to prepare us or prepare Gwen to color in the way he wants. So this is from the previous talk, an image of a kobold horse, and then emerald rooster. And this is from the scientific research of how infants react to differences, right? So circle, cross. So together it is ox and it's silver. And from Katy Perry's picture, we see an amber owl. And he also does some tricks with words. Okay, have you ever read? So this is in present perfect tense. R-E-A-D here is pronounced as read. Don Quixote. So red, like the color red. Donkey, like the animal donkey. So this is an example of homonym. Okay, in Chinese, this is called 同音异义字, like no and no. So the speaker placed quite a few tricks, okay, visually and also verbally, okay. And what is even more surprising is he put a piece of newspaper under the first row, okay, of the audience, okay. So when they take that out, if they take a look at the beginning letter of each question, they will also see the color, okay, we just went over, okay, okay. So this is his way to let us experience what he means by making order out of chaos. So it's quite interesting, and I also believe he must have spent quite a few time putting together this magic show, okay, okay. So this is the talk, okay, about two nerdy obsession meet and its magic. So I hope you enjoy it. So for the group discussion this week, I want you to answer two questions. First, this is a unit about art. So I would like you to explain why is art important. And the second question is about the talk. I would like you to give me some examples of making order out of chaos in life. What are some examples of finding rules in the mess in our lives? Okay, so when you answer these two questions, make sure you answer in an organized way. Okay, in an organized way. Okay, now let's go to the grammar portion of our lecture today. Last week, okay, I shouldn't say last week. In the previous lecture, we talk about when we see two sentences share the same words, okay, it means we can actually combine them using a relative pronoun, such as that, which, or who. So in this way, we can see that relative pronouns function as a conjunctions because they put two sentences into one. And they also function as pronouns because they replace one of the common words. And the relative clause, okay, is the sentence that comes after the relative pronoun. And this sentence describes the words that precedes okay, the word that is before it, okay, and we can know that the relative clause has the function of an adjective. And defining relative clause, okay, is necessary because it completes the meaning of the main clause. Without it, we don't know what you are talking about. On the other hand, non-defining relative clauses, they are giving extra information. In other words, they are not necessary. Without them, we can still know what you are talking about. Okay, so now please go to page 145 of your book, Activity 2. I ask you to do them, right? So now let's go over the answers. So Activity 2 is checking whether or not you know how to combine sentences. So now let's have a look. So the first one is done. So we will start from the second one. This is the book. I read it when I was on vacation. So what do these two sentences have in common? The book and it, right? And we are talking about an object here. So the relative pronoun that and which can both be used. So you can say, this is the book which or that I read when I was on holiday. Okay. And let's think, can we omit the relative pronoun here? So which and that here refers to the book. So let's put the book back to the relative clause. I read the book. So it is the object of the verb read. So the relative pronoun here can be omitted. You can say, this is the book I read when I was on holiday. The second one, this is the song. It won the award for Best R&B Song. So the song and it, they are the same. So again, we are talking about something here. Okay, a thing here. So we can use which and that. So this is the song which that won the award for the Best R&B Song. So check if it is reducible. Is it? So which and that refers to song. So put the song back to the relative clause. It should be the song won. So it takes the place of a subject. So it cannot be reduced. Okay, the next sentence, that's the architect. He went on to design the new library. So architect and he are the same. So we are talking about a person here. So you will use the relative pronoun who. That's the architect who went on to design the new library. And who here refers to the architect. So let's put the word architect back to the relative clause. You can see the word takes the place of a subject. So it cannot be omitted. Finally, she's the dancer. I spoke to her after the performance. So she and her are the same. So the sentence, okay, the sentence here, what should it be? So let's do it together. So in the beginning, you might think it should be she's the dancer who I spoke to after the performance, right? But is it right? Who here refers to the dancer? So let's put it back, okay? So I spoke to the dancer. So it actually takes the place of an object. It is the object of the verb spoke. So what should we do? We should use whom here. Okay, we should use whom here. Okay, so this one, be careful. Okay, so by doing it on the spot with you, hopefully you can remember how to use whom and who properly. Okay. So let's take a look at activity 3. So activity 3 asks you to write one sentence using the information. Use a defining relative clause. Okay, so which means the information we provide in the relative clause is necessary. So every picture is made of old glass. The artist found it in trash cans and recycling centers. So let's put them together. It would be, every picture is made of old glass, which or that the artist found in trash cans and recycling centers. So which and that, can they be omitted? So let's check. So which and that here refers to old glass, right? So let's put it back. The artist found old glass in trash can. So it is in the place of an object, so it can be omitted. So you can also say every picture is made of old glass. The artist found in trash cans and recycling centers. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Older shows, they were made before 2005. They won't be available online until 2019. So older shows which or that were made before 2005 won't be available online until 2019. So which and that here refers to older shows. So if we put them back to the relative clause, it takes the place of a subject, so it cannot be omitted. Please show tickets. They were bought online. Show them at the main theater box office. So if we put them together, it should be please show tickets which that were bought, okay, online at the main theater box office. So which and that refers to tickets. So tickets were bought. It takes the place of a subject, so it cannot be omitted. Viewers, they want to vote for the best singer. They need to call this number. So if we put them together using a relative clause, it should be viewers who want to vote for the best singer need to call this number. Okay, so who here refers to viewers. If we put it back to the relative clause, viewer takes the place of a subject. Again, it cannot be omitted. Okay, let's take a look at one more activity. Activity 4. Ask us to use a non-defining relative clause to combine these sentences. In other words, the situation here is given. Okay, we're talking about time or people or things that we all know. Okay, so remember, non-defining relative clauses are used to offer extra information about something people already know. So here, easy. I was born in 2001, comma, don't forget. For non-defining relative clauses, you need to have comma, which was the year the movie Shrek came about. So this is the extra information for the year you were born. Number 2, my favorite author is Margaret Atwood. She wrote the Aya graphic novels. So graphic novels are like comic books, okay? So here, my favorite author is Margaret Atwood, who wrote the Aya graphic novels. So in this situation, even if you don't offer the relative clause here, people will know who you are talking about, and they might even know Atwood writes Aya. Next, the only musical I've ever seen is Les Mis. So I am not fluent in French, of course. So is American, okay? So are American people. So when they say the name of this musical, they will just say Les Mis. So Les Mis in Chinese is 悲惨世界. It's been playing in the city for years. Okay, I'll fix the typo here later. So this is again the only musical I've ever seen is Les Mis. 好了。And then non-defining, we need a comma, which has been playing in the city for years. Okay, so this one does not need to be italicized. Okay. So the only musical I've ever seen is Les Mis, which has been playing in the city for years. Okay. Next one, she's just a shadow, stars Tao Okamoto. She is one of several new successful Japanese actors. So we're talking about a well-known figure here. So she's just a shadow star, Tao Okamoto, who is one of several new successful Japanese actors. So even we do not have a relative clause here, people will know who you are talking about. And finally, look at his Facebook page. It has a photo of his new baby. So look at his Facebook page, which has a photo of his new baby. Okay, so we all know his Facebook page. In this situation, this man is our mutual friends. Okay, so let's wrap up this unit on about unexpected entertainment. First of all, we learned different expressions with make. If you still remember them, they are making a splash, make sense, and what? Make the most of. And there are others. And we also talk about how to make art in the world of social media. We talk about two artists, Artez and Sophie Chan. And from the TED Talk today, we talk about how human beings are wired to make order out of chaos. And finally, we went over, the basic principles of relative clauses and did a bit more practice on relative clauses. And hopefully the practice make you more familiar with relative clauses. Okay, so thank you for your time and effort in this unit. I hope you enjoy the talk I chose for you. I don't think you will enjoy the original talk, arranged in your textbook. If you are still interested in that talk, you can take a look. It's really long, Anyway, thank you for your time. Again, I will see you soon.